Hello, this is Cathy Cassidy with another chapter from Sunday Girl, and it's chapter 30 today, the penultimate chapter. So just one more to go, and the picture at the top of the chapter, jam tarts and jam. So let's get going and find out what happens next. I get to ride in the pink Cadillac one more time. I sit very still, my cheek against the cool, shiny glass, snuggled into the Barbie pink leather of the seats. Gran would have liked this car. Ooh, she'd have said, pink to make the boys wink. Okay, Jude, Dad asks. I just nod because I can't trust myself to speak, and Grandad, sitting beside me, covers my hand with his big rough one. Dad and Victoria called from Killiecrankie on Monday night. They'd been calling the whole time, apparently, to check that we got home safely. When they found out about Gran, they abandoned their honeymoon tour of the Highlands and drove straight home. No, no, Bobby, Grandad had insisted. There's nothing you can do, nothing anyone can do. We can be there for you, Dad had replied. He was too, him and Victoria. They contacted the funeral home, organised the flowers, spoke to Father Lynch about the service. They organised all the awful necessary jobs you have to do when someone dies, and they did it quietly, gently, without any fuss. Where was Mum? Well, she cried and raged and drank whiskey all Monday night with Giovanni at her side, holding her hand. For the first time in her life, she says, the drink didn't soften the edges or dull the pain. In the morning, she hugged me and she hugged Grandad, and Giovanni drove her to the hospital. She checked herself into the alcohol dependency unit, and she's been there ever since. She's been through the initial withdrawal, and she looks more determined than I have ever seen her. She says she can do it, really kick the drink this time. Well, maybe. Dad parks the pink Cadillac neatly in the car park at the Church of Our Lady of Sorrows. Giovanni's ice cream van is already parked in the corner near the shrine. He's been to fetch Mum from the hospital. He lifts her down from the passenger seat, slides a protective arm around her. She looks too thin, too frail, as if the life has drained out of her. In the cool spring sunshine, her skin is tinged with yellow. After the funeral service and burial, she will have to go back to the hospital. Oh, Mum! I fall into her arms. Hey, hey, she whispers into my hair. It's okay, Jude. Seriously. But it feels like nothing is ever going to be okay again. Hello, Bobby, Victoria, she says. Jude's told me everything you've been doing to help. Thank you, both of you. It was the least we could do, Dad says. No, Mum corrects him. It was much more than that. We walk up the church steps. Mum and Giovanni, Dad and Victoria, me and Grandad and Toto. Are you sure, Father Lynch? Grandad asks as the priest meets us at the door. About Toto? Isn't he one of the family? Father Lynch says kindly. Why wouldn't he be welcome in the house of God? So we go in, all of us. The organist is playing a slow, sad song that makes me want to slit my wrists, and the church is full of people. Old friends, neighbours, distant relatives. They sit in rows, huddled in black coats, navy jackets, silent, respectful. The coffin is already here, heaped with flowers, and we have to walk past it to get to the front row pew that has been set aside for us. I can feel Grandad falter as we file past, but he puts a fist to his mouth and carries on. Nuala and her family are halfway along the aisle to the right, and Miss Devlin and Mr. McGrath side by side, and Sue from the hairdressers. Christina Kowalski has come too, with Alex. I see them on the other side, two tawny-haired figures, one dressed in a black mini dress, the other in a cartoon knitted sweater and pyjama trousers. Next to the aisle, down near the front, there's a lanky, straw-haired boy with no shoes, a pair of battered rollerblades leaning against the kneeler. He grabs my hand as I go past, squeezing it tightly. We file into the front pew and sit down. Mum and Giovanni, Dad and Victoria, Grandad, Toto and me. We are a family, An unruly, awkward, embarrassing family, but a family all the same. How did I ever think otherwise? Gran is missing, of course. She was the heart of our mismatched family, but she will never be here again. The funeral mass begins. The priest says sad things, lovely things about Gran, and everyone sings sad hymns, and there's a lot of crying, not just in the front pew, and that's okay. Then it's over and the pallbearers carry the coffin outside to the big black car that will carry it to the graveyard. Everyone swarms out of the church then, and that's the hardest bit, because people are hugging me, holding me, pressing my hand, telling me that my Gran was a good woman, a wonderful woman, a saint. Why didn't you tell me, Nuala asks when it's her turn, about your mum and everything? I just shake my head because the reasons seem so small and stupid now. I would have understood, she tells me. You know that, don't you, Jude? That's what friends are for. I know, I say. I'm sorry. Idiot, Nuala says softly. Then, I'm so sorry about your Gran. She was lovely. Remember when she showed us how to make jam tarts when we were little, and we ate all the jam before the pastry cases even got cooked? She didn't get mad or anything, just sent us down to the corner shop to get more. She was lovely, I say, and the word was sticks in my throat like a sliver of glass. Will I ever get used to it? Nuala moves aside and Kevin Carter walks right up and hugs me tightly, which isn't as scary as you'd imagine. It feels safe and warm and good. Thanks, Carter, I whisper into his neck, for everything. It's okay, Carter says, any time. We disentangle, still holding hands. So, he says, does this mean you'll go out with me now? Carter! I nudge him on the ankle and he yelps and backs off, sitting down on the church steps, strapping on his rollerblades. Then Christina and Alex are in front of me, Christina's eye makeup all smudged and blotchy with tears. Nuala, still hovering at my side, does a double take. Take care, Jude, okay? Christina says, wrapping me briefly in a quick strawberry-scented hug. Take care, Christina, I echo, and watch Nuala's jaw drop. Carter appears on my other side, tottering on rollerblades. He nods towards Alex. Hello, he says, and you are? Alex just squints at him blankly, and in that moment I can see Carter catching on, working it out, sussing that Alex is different. His face softens. Christina catches my eye, biting her lip. I can see the excuses running through her head, ready to drip off her tongue. He's my brother, she says at last, looking from Carter to Nuala, and then back again at Alex. He's called Alex, okay? Oh, okay, says Carter gently. Good to meet you, Alex. Then suddenly there's a fluttering, a flash of green, and Alex points to the big black hearse, eyes shining. Bird, he says. And there on the big shiny hearse bonnet is a greenfinch, small, vivid, perfect, fluffing up its feathers in the sunshine. So that was chapter 30 of Sunday Girl. Tune in tomorrow for the very last chapter. And thank you all for hanging on this far through some dramatic and some very sad chapters. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.